Hello. Well, as you know, the show is Talk Shop, your favorite online program. It is sizzling, it is hot, and it is intelligent. So welcome once again to Talk Shop, and where we tell the truth and let the chips fall where they bloody hell may. That's the whole thing. And as we always say on this program, truth crashed to earth shall rise again. We are dang, it will rise again. Finally, I always ask, what time is it? And your response is the same, man. It's nation time. And if you are saying, where are t-shirts? Somebody actually sent me, say, the man crying, no, they give the t-shirts near the mabo. I understand that some of you are tired, mabo. Give me, next week I'm going to announce everything, okay? So forgive me. In the meantime, Talk Shop is nation time, and nation time is what time is it? And you'll be getting your t-shirts very, very soon. We're going to talk about, I'm planning a solid march, man. A nation time march, which will be like very, very, very well organized. But give me time to put everything together, then I'll announce it to you, okay? Before I start today's program, let me say this. A few people ask me, KSM, what's wrong with your hand? You see, I always use my hand, and they said there's only the left in corner. Well, let me tell you why, you know. Sometimes I don't think about myself. I still feel I'm a young man. Here's the truth. You know, my producer and director, young guy, 35. He's athletic, he bodybuilds everything, and he plays tennis. And then I told him, hey, I used to play tennis, so I'm not that bad. So he said, okay. So he picked me up, and then I went to go and play tennis with him. Oh my God. I'm not lying, I used to play very, 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 very good, but that was years ago. I thought I still had it all. When I got on the track, the field, and I realized, Charlie, 68 is a different thing altogether. This man is 35. I don't want to say he beat me. No, he didn't beat me. He whooped my ass, man. He whooped my ass, and not only did he whoop my ass, he left me this painful wrist. Charlie, my next show coming is called Old Age is a Bitch. Charlie, not only did he whoop my ass, so look at what he left me. So all of you have been seeing me in the last week or two saying, what's wrong with your hand, Charlie? Olu went to play tennis, so. Olu went to play tennis. At 68, but Charlie never say die. Charlie, you are watching, director. I'll come again, man. I'll come again. Never say that. Anyway, now that I will put that out of the way, because plenty people asking me, what's wrong with your hand? Now that I put that away, you know, transparency. You say, baby, I'm a catcher. I want to be transparent. Accountability. So that's the story with the hand. I told him, I said, now small tennis here, but not from the World Cup. Anyway, now you know. But today, what I want to talk about, folks, is this whole thing called oral. Operation Retrieve All the Loot. But it's very, very interesting, you know. The semantics can change in people's mind. But I tell you, as for protecting the national assets we have, the first person who talked about it was former President Akufo-Addo. When he was sworn in, he said something very, very, very vital to this whole thing. Listen to what he said when he was sworn in.
State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that, service and not an avenue for making money.
Did you hear that, folks? He said he is there to protect the public purse. I love that. He is there. He promised Ghanaians that under his presidency, he was going to protect the public purse. What does it mean? He wants to make sure that the money that's supposed to go into the coffers for Ghana, and from the public purse, no, the state money, he is going to protect it. And every Ghanaian was happy to hear that. Who wasn't? Who wasn't? Which Ghanaian can say he was annoyed with former President Akufo-Addo was saying, I'm here to protect the public purse. That was an assurance. Say, it's not going to be just rampant chopping of money. He is there to protect the public purse. And everybody believed him. Say, yes, at least. You are self-made, you are here, and he was assured that you're going to protect the public purse. He even went on further to warn people that, listen, if you're about looking for money to chop, his government is not the place for you. Say, if your whole intention is, say, I want to make money and I want to chop money, he says his government is not the place for you. Because that is not where to make money. It says go to the private sector where you can make money. In other words, you can't come to government and think you can come and sit here and loot. Listen to the advice he gave to people. Listen to this advice.
Money is to be made in the private sector, not the public. And measures will be put in place to ensure this.
I've said it and I'll repeat it again. Those who are coming to this administration thinking that it's an avenue for making a lot of money are going to be disappointed. They better go to the private sector. That is where people make money, not in government.
There we go. If I am supposed to paraphrase what he said, all he's saying was that, Charlie, I am protecting the national coffers. So I'm protecting it. If you want to secure, if you want to loot, don't come here. Not my government. Folks, this was a very, very, very amazing promise. An assuring promise he gave Ghanaians, because that time they were looking for power, and so much has been said about how the NDC did this and that and all kinds of things. But he said, I have come that I will protect the public purse. So that was the agenda. Now, it just so happened that under the 8 years of his rule, the public purse, unfortunately, folks, was raped. The public purse was pillaged. The public purse was ransacked for the 8 years. So unfortunate. Oh, but Nana, that's not what you assured us. And we believe that assurance that you're going to protect the public purse.
State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse.
And then became the total opposite. So also, as part of his wanting to come back, Mahama actually promised that if the NDC should come back to power, one of the first things he will do is to set up a team that will recover all the loot.
We will launch an Operation Recover All the Loot to investigate, prosecute, and recover the proceeds of corruption. To investigate, prosecute, and recover the proceeds of corruption, no person found culpable will be spared. But let me say that the sword of accountability will cut both ways, against both past and the present government.
And Ghanaians were happy to hear that. Ghanaians were happy to hear that. I must say that I think one of the reasons the NDC is back in power is that many Ghanaians are so sick and tired of the loot. And they really also, the way we believed Nana Addo when he said he's going to protect the public purse, the confidence we had in that assurance, and why we voted for him to be president. It's the same, believe it or not, confidence and assurance that the people of Ghana have in Mahama that he's going to recover the loot. I want to say a very interesting dynamics. We're happy with one who said he was going to protect the public purse. But unfortunately, the public purse was looted, pillaged, and raped. And so we voted them out. And we are happy because Mahama said, when he comes, all the loot and the pillage and the rape of the public purse, we are going to recover. So it's very, very interesting dynamics that both exuded some confidence in Ghanaians. Actually, this is what we're going to do. Now, let me tell you why I'm doing this show. Because surprisingly, this man, I call him Afenyo MACHO Markin. That's the new name I've given him. He's the macho crusader. He calls it this so-called oral. It's not constitutional. It's not legal. I swear to God, folks, I'm just saying this. Let's say that it was the MPP that had just taken power, and they had just taken power from the NDC, and Anado had promised the people of Ghana that, listen, all the money you said the NDC has looted, don't worry, I'm going to do all I can to recover it. If we switch it around, do you know what would have happened? I'm sure Afenyo MACHO Markin would have been appointed by Nanado to be the leader of the oral team then. And he would have done it with exuberance and excitement. Nanado Yadasi, we'll see what they have done and we'll work to make sure we recover all loot. I swear to God, that is what Afenyo Markin would have done. Macho, tell me I'm lying. Just reverse this situation. But this time, it was the NPP in power, and they have so much evidence that there has been so much looting. So Nanado has decided to say, may investigate it. Timaya Afenyo Markin, the leader of my team. I want to see whether Afenyo Markin would have told Nanado, I'm sorry, I can't be a member of that team. It's not a legally set up team. So let's forget the politics, folks. Let us forget the politics. The place where Ghana is now, it's not about NDC and PPO. It's about Ghana. And if Ghana has been looted, we have to recover the loot. Certain things just dazzle me. You know, I have a thing that, don't forget, it was one of my old professors in the US, and he said this to me. No, not to me, he said to the class. He said, if you can't impress people with your brilliance, then dazzle them with your bullcrap. Let me repeat it. You can write it, those of you who want to quote it, because it's beautiful. If you can't impress people with brilliance, then dazzle them with bullcrap. What the bullcrap must have, they will feel so dazzled that, oh my, and they will forget, say, they all kind of cry, it wasn't brilliant. And that is what I think people like Afenyo Markin are doing now. They want to dazzle Ghanaians with bullcrap. Oh, this is not legal. It's not been set up well. People want to use this to get their personal bad data. Let's listen to a bit of what he said, and I'll come back. Listen to this.
I condemn in no uncertain terms the establishment of a so-called committee called ORA. I hold a humble view that it is a needless committee. It has no constitutional backing, and this committee is only in for personal vendetta. If we allow this committee to continue with its so-called wild goose chase, it will disturb the governance of this country.
Folks, that whole talk, he didn't impress me with any brilliance. I just think he was dazzling with bullcrap. At this stage where we are in this country, the sad thing is that even a ranking senator of the US Senate ranking senator, has actually sort of warned Ghana, advising us that we should pay all the American companies we owe before we go back to IMF. I mean, how condescending can it be for a sovereign country to be reminded, essentially, what they may companies can? You owe my companies. Prioritize your payment so that you pay the companies that you owe before you go back to the IMF. How condescending can this be? And let me go back to Martin, Afenyo, MACHO, Markin. And you think that there's no point at this level where countries are even telling us, come and pay your bills. You don't think there's a need that we put in an extra effort to recover the loot? Is that what you're saying? That there's no need for it? Is that what you're saying? Are you trying to impress us with some kind of brilliance, or you're just trying to dazzle us with bull crap? There's no need for it.
I condemn in no uncertain terms the establishment of a so-called committee called ORA. It is a needless committee.
Master, let's go through a few of the things there's no need for. Few of the things, so I don't want to talk plenty. Okay, there's no need to look into the $58 million that we have spent on this cathedral, which has become just a plain, unusable swimming pool. There's no need to investigate it. It's okay. We just spent $58 million, but then so what? There's no need. Let's move on. We're a country. We have to be moving on. All the buildings we pulled down, all the mess, the millions of dollars we paid the architect and things, and the place is empty. But why investigate it? What's the need? I can tell you that there's no need to look into these things. Look at what we did with the All African Sports, or whatever they said it was, where over $250 million was voted for it, and 16 went into some renovation, of which we know there are a couple of air conditioners were put there, and 15 went into the feeding of at least for 2 weeks. $1 million? Oh, actually, these are. Why are you going to waste time saying you have to investigate things? Leave them, let them go. Wait, is this any money? Should we even investigate PDS? That we have a compact from the US that they were going to give us a grant. They did the first part. The next part was $190 million. They looked at the PDS arrangement and said, something smells stinking in this. We are withdrawing our $190 million. And that's it. Under Kufuor, when he came, people were tried for causing financial loss. My good friend, Chachushi Kata, that lawyer, what was he in there for? He was sent to jail for causing financial loss. Malam Isa, Salome, the list goes on and on, for causing financial loss. Now, Afenyo Markin, in your brilliant submission, you say these things are needless? Then let's go to the Pualugu Dam, where it was touted as being one of the best things that the NPP had done. $12 million. Even the former vice president bragged about it, that's like one major accomplishment.
The most important project in the north since independence, a Pualugu Dam project.
Okay.
Is the biggest investment. Say we're drawing books no more since independence.
Okay. Okay. What watch it?
How watch it? Government to be a buy. You see Pualugu Dam. But we're here as a signature project, and in Ebeda #1. So there's no doubt about that.
$12 million. Nothing happened though, folks. Nothing. Should we investigate this? Oh, it's okay. Why worry? Let's move on. Is that what you're telling us? Hey! And then we see in the papers that Ghana is now going, we are entering the level where we're going to be using SkyTrain to do urban transport. The SkyTrain. And according to what we heard, $2 million had been signed to this South African company that was going to bring the SkyTrain to Ghana. If there's a SkyTrain in Ghana that I don't know, please point it out to me. But please, where's the SkyTrain? Oh, it's okay, okay, so let's just leave this. In essence, this whole team to investigate the loot in Afenyo Markin's estimation is needless. It's just people trying to take vengeance. Massa.
It is a needless committee. It has no constitutional backing. And this committee is only in for personal vendetta. If we allow this committee to continue with its so-called wild goose chase, it will disturb the governance of this country.
Let's talk about the state lands, folks. The amount of state lands that have been robbed, stolen. Look, if a land is supposed to cost, let's say $1 million, and you sell it for 10 million, it's looting. And that has taken place to amazing levels. Not even state-owned lands, so even private people. I know private people, private landowners who were there and were all the time they have all their lands visited by people supposedly national security for whatever these lands now go back and forth. They pull down the lands and just destroy people's personal properties. Plenty of them. Plenty people have had their lands forcibly taken from them. All of that is not loot. We shouldn't even investigate it. It's okay. Because it's a personal vendetta. What are you talking about? So, I think Martin Pegbo announced that either the NIB boss, he mentioned somebody who has voluntarily returned his land because he knows that the things were not done right, it was illegal, they have voluntarily returned their land. If this whole oral thing was so unconstitutional and so illegal, why would an intelligent person decide, say, Charlie, no, something was not right. Even the land that I bought at this price, I know was a loot. Pacho, here's your land. What do you think that is? And I am hoping that there will be many more intelligent Ghanaians who will sit back and realize, well, then I thought I had a great deal because I knew somebody in government or I knew somebody in national security. So I thought getting this land at this ridiculously low price was a good deal. So I took advantage. But now I know that these are parts of grabbing state lands. And just return it. Your own voluntary return it. That's all we're looking for. So this grandstanding about this whole thing is useless, and the so-called oral, as you put it, for me, you have not impressed me with any brilliance. I'm sorry. You've just done a lot to dazzle me with what I think is bull crap. Let's move beyond this partisan grandstanding, folks. And this one I'm talking to both parties. This is not a time for partisan grandstanding where because it has come from the NDC, I have to make sure that I oppose it. Or because it has come from the minority suggestion, I want to make sure that we throw it away. That kind of thinking will not work anymore, folks. Let me give free advice to all the politicians that we are entering an era where we should do politics not by confrontation, but politics by reconciliation and thinking. Tactful politics. Be tactful. Afenyo Markin, if you are tactful, you would have appealed to anybody who knows that they have done something illegal with the oral thing to kindly submit themselves for investigation. That's the tact that you should use. Appeal to those who you know, or those who, if you don't know them, there are many there who have done things the wrong way. Appeal to them. And don't fight the oral. Master, why? Why would he say, it's illegally, it was not set up right, and I guess we should now go to parliament and debate it, and you know that this thing doesn't make any sense. Please, if you can't deal with me with brilliance, don't try to do with bullcrap. This young guy called, I think his name is John Darko, who's also joined this crusade of actually advising MPs that if you're an MPP MP and you're invited by the oral team, don't go, don't show up.
Unconstitutional establishment and putting together of people who go about harassing former government officials. We believe that the establishment of that oral committee violates and flies in the face of our constitution. And we want the people of Ghana to know that no serious country will entertain anything such as this. And so if you are a former government official and you're invited by this so-called oral, our advice to you from the minority is to boycott any invitation from the oral team. We are not going to be part of it.
What kind of crap is that? What kind of crap is that? You see, this is what I say is the political grandstanding at Chum. Folks, this time, if you're going to work to build this Ghana, let us all work to build this Ghana, and let's stop the bull crap political grandstanding. That era is gone. Okay? Yeah, I know there are many politicians who in the past, in order to get attention, they have to be loud. Not intelligent, too. They have to be loud. Many politicians. Instead of speaking intelligently and making their points intelligently, they decide, say, Charlie, let me be yard. And if I'm loud, I get the attention. Folks, we have entered a new era. Mrs. Ghana for any breno. It's not about which politician is going to be loud or make sense. Young politician, John Darko. I think you've just entered parliament. I think you are now handling where Osei Musu was there. If it won't bother you, go to Osei Musu and just sit down for a briefing. Kakra say, how do you conduct yourself as a new parliamentarian? I'm sure he'll have a few words for you. But this mounting press conference to say that it's an illegal thing and whoever is invited should not report is absolute irresponsibility. And should I say, lack of display of brilliance. That was just an intelligent display of bull crap. If they call you, don't go. Massa. And the way you're talking about it, like as if the oral has the power to prosecute. You are talking about we should allow the institutions like Yoko and whatever OSS, we should allow institutions go for them.
It's not putting the work of the police CID, Yoko, and special prosecutor, and constitutionally established bodies out of business.
No, all that the Oracle team is supposed to do, investigate, get some evidence, and then submit the evidence to those who are legally put together to deal with these issues. Office of Special Prosecutor, Yoko, whatever, Shrag, whatever. But at least the oral team should have the basis and the support to investigate all those who are looted and then present whatever evidence that they have come over, present that evidence to the institutions, and the institutions should then prosecute based on the evidence and then recover the loot for the nation. Where your money? What is so wrong with that? The only thing that's wrong with that is that it has come from Mahama, no NDC. And so you are MPP, so you must also oppose. Let me tell you a very, very, very funny story about, they say, the African understanding of what opposition is. Let me tell you this. Very crazy story of the Africans' understanding of what an opposition is. They say at one time they were in parliament voting for a bill, you know, and an opposition member entered the parliament late, right? He didn't know what bill they were voting for. As he was entering, all he heard the speaker was saying, all those who oppose this, please raise your hand. And as he was entering, and then when he went to sit down, he asked his friend by him, Nampacho, didn't you oppose? You see how ridiculously stupid that sounds? You know, as he was entering, he says, all those who are in position, raise your hand. Who oppose this bill, raise your hand. Then he raised his hand. Because of your position. He doesn't care what is opposing or your position. And then when he went in, sitting down and voting, he asked the next guy, but what are we opposing? And then the guy said, oh, it's a water settlement for this rural area. I said, oh, wow. I mean, that sounds like a joke and it's very, very funny. But it just tells you how our mind has been tuned. Say, oh, your position there, oppose everything. That's the mind, though. Afenyo Markin. You know, sometimes, you know why I feel sorry about Afenyo Markin. You know, sometimes you have to put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Then maybe you can understand a bit of why they're doing things the way they do it. And Afenyo Markin had just come from an election where MPP was the majority. Remember, even when they had that thing in the parliament where Babin declared certain seats, you know, these seats are now vacant. Afenyo Markin went to the Supreme Court to have that overturned. For the speed, because Supreme Court said, I beg you, overturn this. And he made a statement that he cannot sit in the seat of the minority because it's not even spiritually required, it's not advisable.
I should go and sit on the minority seat. Spiritually, it's not even good. You have 3 weeks to election. I should go and sit on minorities. Is that my seat? I won't dare sit there. I will never do it. I will never do it. That's not my rightful place. I should go to minority. Spiritually, make myself a minority person. No.
So you have to see where he's coming from. He's now in the minority, and you Ghanaians, so you are wicked. You don't just say minority. You say he's in the micro minority. That they bore him. You're telling Afenyo Markin he's now a macro minority person.
You cannot even use that term. It's not only Mr. Speaker. You can't use that term micro minority. From today, nobody should ever use that term in this house. Nobody should use that term in this house.
And they bore no. So from where he's coming from, he has to show essentially I can grandstand. Even if you're calling me a macro minority, my opposition, I'll grandstand and show you. May oppose you. But then you oppose you. That's the kind of politics that please let's move away from. Let's not do grandstanding politics. President Mahama and Vice President Nana Jean. That's why I'm happy that the change has come for you guys to be in charge. Please, I'm sure between the two of you, you know how to introduce to Ghana the politics of tolerance, the politics of tactfulness, the politics of intelligence, the politics of diplomacy, so that whatever your agenda is, there's a tact, there's a way to present it to make it appealing. Even if I don't want to accept it, you don't present it as someone will be going to cry. It's not a fight, folks. Where Ghana is now, and that is where I like most of the people who tune into this program, we are all people about it's nation time. We want to build this nation, and we have a nation to build, and trust me, we can build the nation without petty grandstanding. So I grandstand this small boy. I'm sorry I'm calling you small boy, but you are a very newcomer. You have come in. You won't come in with something that will set you apart. Say, Charlie, that's an intelligent guy. Charlie is a new guy, but Charlie, I can't know form. That's how you make your mark. Let me advise you, folks. Don't just join the fray. So, Charlie, this is what is popular in Parliament. People want to grandstand. Don't just join the fray. Because your boss says that this thing is an illegal thing, giddy, you're going. And I've seen media people starting to go on that line. I've seen media people going on that line. What is the legality of what is going on? Really? Did you ever ask about the legality of the rape when the place was pledged for a national cathedral? Did anybody ask, is this legal? PDS? Was that legal? SkyTrain? Was it? I mean, you can go on and on and on and on of certain things that were wrong, that were done to this country, that has left this country in the bad shape that we are in. Did you ever question it? But all of a sudden you get more. You're going to question whether the setup of oral is legal or not. You want to talk about legal? The debt restructuring. That many pensioners lost their money. Many pensioners got the haircut that you promised nobody will get.
So let us remove any doubt and discard any speculation that the government is about to cut your retirement savings or the notional value of your investment. This is not the case. There will be no haircut on the principal of bonds. Individuals who hold bonds would also not be affected at all.
I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts.
Many pensioners not lost only their money, they lost their lives. Painful. Was that legal? Did you get up and make noise and say, no, the way we are treating our pensioners is not legal? And then the name home. Let's stop this hypocrisy, man. Let us stop this hypocrisy with this bull crap that is going on, folks. To say Ghana for Yanyabrio. We want to build this country, and if you don't want to take a part of it, step aside. Go to Togo. Go to Togo. Say, I made my bread. I don't want to take. No, go there. But those of us who want to build this country, let us be serious and do what it takes to build this country, folks. I'm sorry. Don't bring little things there. The setup was. I think he said, so who was that? Said, people are using the personal vendetta.
It is a needless committee. It has no constitutional backing. And this committee is only in for personal vendetta.
But what first captain now, man, personal? Who's taking this captain personal? This is a national issue. The crap you've done. The $58 million plus that we have thrown away, it's not a personal issue. It's not a personal issue. Please, if you can't impress us with brilliance, don't try and dazzle us with bullcrap, because it won't work. That's my free advice, Charlie. And I know, dear Charlie, when I talk, I speak like an idealist. But there are certain things that I'll talk about because now KSM now, who is going to do this? Because I speak like an idealist. Listen to what I'm saying. That we should now have a government. And when I say government, Ghana for Munmio, government does not mean only majority. The government is made up of the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. Who makes up the legislature is the minority and majority. They form the government. So so when we say the government is the NDC government, that's what we see. But it's just the NDC administration. The government is made up of both NDC, MPP, independents, or parliament. They are part of the government. Okay? So I'm saying, say, the level where we are at now, let us realize that our presence as members of the government, how we can build this country and not partisan grandstanding. It won't work. Whether it's from the majority or minority, it won't work. Let's talk about let's grandstand on what can build this nation and not what can make my party look good or what can make my party whatever. It's about the nation. It's not about any partisan grandstanding. Please, Afenyo, MACHO, Markin. I think part of your grandstanding is all to show, say, even if you are in the minority or whatever, no, you still have a voice. No, we know. We respect you. We are lawyer there. Yeah, we know. Now, let's move past that. Let's move past the point where we can build this nation together and raise this nation together. And not grandstand. I saw some clip of you during the vetting. And of course, you voiced your views vociferate as much as you wanted. But what disgusted me, folks, what disgusted me is that somewhere during the vetting, you got a phone call. You're on air on national TV. In the all important vetting on national TV. You get a phone call, you answer the phone call, and then get up and leave. Massa! Please, I don't know who's the chairman of the vetting or whatever. Can you please announce before you sit down and vet that everybody should shut their phone off, including you, the chairman? It is so unprofessional. It is so pathetic that when there's a proceeding, now who has a call? My goodness, look at this. See? Live TV, we are vetting. Now you're answering your call, and then after that you leave, and I'm sure some members of your party joined you to leave. How unprofessional. How disgusting. How I beg that going forward, this nonsense should stop. Please, the chairman, whoever handles the vetting, make it a policy that no one takes phone calls during the vetting. It is so rude. It is so rude. It is so unprofessional. It is so pathetic. Who vetting now? Why you call Zukakra? Now that one now new beam come over. Who bondok? Oh, folks, Ghana send their kind you. But I'm wrapping up on this. I'm wrapping on this at Pacho, Afenyo, MACHO, Markin. Tone down. Tone the hell down. John Darko, you're a newcomer. Welcome. And I like that you're new and you're trying to assert your presence. It's beautiful. One of the things that people should understand is that what makes us important is our visibility. But please, you should be visible and noted for making intelligent comments, not visible and noted for making contradictory and hostile comments. This era that we have entered, let us stop the politics of confrontation. If you don't believe in the politics of tactfulness, the politics of conciliation, try it and see the difference it will make in our politics. Anyway, folks, I've said all that I can today. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm Pacho Misano. Anybody who knows any ointment that I can use, you can, when you're sending your comments, you can recommend the ointments for me. I promise I'll go and get it. By the way, Barbara Whitaker, that was the 62-year-old lady who joined the crusade when they were marching against Galamsey. I saw her and I was very, very proud of her. I said, wow, that's an elderly woman. Ghana Danakuma. So 62 years. He was with the Galamsey, Stop the Galamsey. And he sent me a beautiful note. So I'm just happy to know that among our congregation, Barbara Whitaker, thank you very much. Yes, show her some love, show her some love. And trust me, the issues you have raised about Galamsey, we will definitely be hitting on it. But until we come back again next time, folks, please, grandstanding, to hell with grandstanding on. try tactfulness and conciliation approach. And I'm talking to both parties, and see what kind of new parliament we'll have in Ghana and how that will help with our nation building. It's nation time, folks. What time is it? It's nation time. I'll see you next time. All of you have a good week and catch up with you.